million euros on Alexander Isak from Real Sociedad. It looks all but done. Look, I really like Alexander Isak, but I think this is a really big overpayment. I think Isak's probably a 40 million euro striker. However, Newcastle have got good deals over the summer so far. They've underpaid for a lot of players, and if this is the statement signing, I guess they're not really going to be that arsed with overpaying. But I think the question is, if you're a Newcastle fan or one of the directors, is do you trust Eddie Howe to get the best out of Alexander Isak's obvious quality and his obvious raw materials? Because they're all there. He's pretty quick. Obviously, he's 6'2.5". One thing I really like as well is if you look, this was the season before, 80% of his touches and passes with his right foot. This season just gone 79%. I know that sounds like kind of a nothing thing to say, but it's very rare for a striker. Not even just a striker. A lot of players to have 80% of their touches with their strong foot. Most people are on like low 90s. So it shows he's clearly two-footed to some degree. And those are the sort of things you can't coach. Same with obviously height and natural pace and all that sort of thing. He's the right age. You know, if I was a Newcastle fan, which I'm not, if I was, I'd want my club spending my big money on a 22-year-old instead of buying a 28, 29-year-old. And he's the right profile. You know, obviously Newcastle majority of the time play a 4-3-3, and that's what Alexander Isak's done at Real Sociedad for the majority of his time over the last 3 years. So it should be a natural fit. I guess the only two concerns you'd have with Isak is, one, he's obviously just off a season where his output's dropped a lot and he's underperformed his XG. Although he didn't the year before, obviously when he got 17 goals, he only underperformed it a little bit. So you're kind of just banking on the fact that last season was just a blip, and that, you know, that natural talent will come out. And players do have blips all the time. It's not a massive concern. I just think it's a massive overpayment. But if you're Newcastle and this is your one statement signing, it's not really an issue. Because then what Target was 15, Pope was 10, Bottom was 30. Then it's your overall spend probably 120. Like I'd say that's pretty reasonable for a first season with a takeover. The only concerns I would have obviously is the blip last season. His numbers went down. Although some of the key ones are still there. You know, obviously this guy's in top 5% in Europe's top 5 leagues for dribbles. That's again about raw materials. He's a big guy. He's very two-footed and can dribble. That's enough for me. And obviously he's played in the top 5 league for a while now. For me, there's enough there that if you back Eddie Howe, which I'm still a bit unconvinced by Eddie Howe, if I'm being totally honest with you. I'm not 100% convinced yet, but he's clearly a good coach with young attackers. And I think there's enough there to sit over the last 2 years, even the season before when he was banging, he still had decent dribble numbers. There's enough there for me to suggest that Isak will become at least a competent Premier League level striker. And I guess the only concern is Callum Wilson's already there, and you can maybe say this isn't a position of need. I think it is. Like I still think right wing and central midfield are bigger issues for Newcastle. And you could say that, you know, spending £70 million, maybe it would have been better if Newcastle spent 40 million on a midfielder and 30 million on a winger and just kind of hoped Chris Wood kicked on. But one thing I think could be interesting as well is if you played Wilson and Isak together, maybe you could change Joe Linton's role. You know, Joe Linton's a guy that Hoffenheim played off the right quite a lot. He was more of a second striker kind of guy. Maybe out of possession, Newcastle could play a 4-3-3 with Joe Linton in the middle. And then when in possession, you could kind of make it into more of a 4-2-2 or a 4-4-2. I think that would be kind of an interesting change and kind of a nice evolution for Newcastle. But yeah, overall, I think, look, this fee's ridiculous. And even if you're a the most diehard Newcastle fan and you love Alexander Isak, and even if you're Swedish, you can't deny that this is a mental fee, which is massively overinflated. But ultimately, the striker market's kind of hard right now. And if you're a club like Newcastle that want to take that next step, you kind of have to take some punts on some guys that the top six are too scared to take a punt on, but have top six level ability. And he's shown that for Sweden and at Dortmund, and obviously that second season at Sociedad, that he has enough. He's a good age, he's the right profile, he's got physical abilities. It's a position of need, and he's the right profile, and he's played in the system before, he's pretty two-footed. The only concerns me are obviously the price is a bit over the top, and there is an opportunity cost there that if Callum Wilson does stay fit, which is unlikely, obviously, but if it is, then all of a sudden you've kind of got one of Isak or Wilson on the bench, and then you've still got Almiron, who obviously was very good against Man City, and then John Joe Shelby being regular Premier League starters, or Joe Willock, whoever plays. And then all of a sudden you're like, if Wilson stays fit, maybe it's a wasted allocation of resources, but generally overall, good signing, right profile, it's a statement of intent, but I think that fee is ridiculous. But who cares, I guess, if you're a Newcastle fan. But yeah, I think that fee is ridiculous. But if you enjoyed the video, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and yeah, peace.